Hello and welcome to another Tuesday night of Great Lakes Series action. Here we are for the Great Lakes Truck Series with a special treat this week. Here we are at Bristol Motor Speedway on Bristol Dirt, Elliott, for the Giant Tiger Derby for the Great Lakes Truck Series here.
Yeah, I think we're in for a good piece tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Some different action from what we're used to, and I think everyone's kind of looking forward to a little bit of a different show compared to what we got at the Roval last week.
And what we're going to do first here is we're going to do 4 heats, 4 8-lap heats to decide the starting lineup of the field of tonight's race here in the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby. Heat number 1 here. Got a couple of good drivers here in this first heat here, Elliott.
Yeah, we also have some new names. I believe that's David Damboy's up here. Yep, he is fresh out of CDRA competition, another league that they run. So cool to see him in some Great Lakes competition. We've been trying to get him over here for a while. You got Kyle Nogle sitting third right here. Not a name that we come across too often, but Kyle, I believe, is one of these dirt ringers that may or may not be able to do something tonight and kind of showcase some extra skill. Matt Durr, as always, a very notable driver, but up here in second. Ashton Lawson starting up front. So a lot of different names, a lot of familiar names, but some new ones as well that we'll see throughout the night tonight. And one of them with David Damboy's already populating tonight in the first heat.
You're going to see it here live on the Flatout Racing Network. About to go green flag racing here in heat number 1. Starting up front, Ashton Lawson on his outside is Matthew Durr as the pace car pulls off here for heat number 1. And Ashton Lawson leads into the green flag here. Oh, and they're getting a little crazy behind him, already shaking up a little bit. Some good racing going into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Brent Kingcott immediately went to the outside of Briar Fritz, another dirt ringer, I'll say, who started towards the back here, didn't put down the best qualifying effort. Damboy's is already getting shuffled back as Barb's gone around him. Just a reminder as we get through these heats that they are, everyone's locked in. We don't have a situation where they're trying to race their way in, so there's not going to be that type of action. It's just going to be where you finish here is where it's going to set you up for the race.
Just setting the starting lineup for the event tonight. 8 laps here, and it's a good little practice for these drivers as well, Elliott, just to get a feel of the other drivers on the track and how racing conditions might be.
Yeah, I put no practice in for this. Usually I, put some laps in to understand what the truck's going to feel like so I can commentate as an analyst, but tonight I'm kind of just going to sit here and watch the show with you guys because I don't really know what these things do here. I'm not great on dirt. I don't particularly enjoy it, but I did hear a lot of guys talking about the fact that as the race goes on, you're going to want to know what lane to be in, whether that be the top or bottom, whichever one is actually moving and has more grip. So we'll have to see. Right now, you've got 2 or 3 distinct lanes currently, as you see Taylor and Damboy's getting together a little bit. Definitely going to see some contact tonight, but it looks like right now the bottom's kind of moving a little bit better than the top until that gets, brought in.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about this dirt racing, Elliott, is that the dirt's always changing. There's always lines switching, and you're always having to figure out the track. You always have to be on your toes every single lap.
Yeah. Last week's winner, Ashton Lawson, doing a good job of showing us exactly how it's done, leading Kyle Nogle, who is putting up a valiant effort. These two have kind of separated away from Barber Gelada, who again started 6th, is driven up to 3rd, so improving his starting spot for tonight by a pretty big margin. Matthew Durr is the biggest loser so far, going from 2nd to 4th, it looks like. And Briar Fritz also trying to move his way up there. It looks like we've had an issue with, I believe, David Damboy's.
Yeah, it looks like Damboy's went around.
Yep, he seems to have spun himself. We're going to see probably a good bit of that as well tonight. Unfortunate start for Damboy's as he'll end up probably 8th or 9th in this one and put himself pretty far back compared to where he was.
Here comes Ashton Lawson approaching the white flag here in heat number 1. Kyle Nogle right behind him. Yeah, Nogle, he's right in there behind him. He's trying to get to him. This is where he's really good, is on these dirt tracks, and he's really, really sent it into 1 and 2 to see what he can do. And it looks like Lawson is going to steal heat number 1 here of the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby.
Yeah, Matthew Durr, Briar Fritz had a really good battle back there for 4th. Barber Gelada in 3rd. Matthew Durr 5th, Mike Tellier 6th, Brent Kingcott in 7th, Rod Fossenbaugh in 8th, and Dave Damboys unfortunately goes from 4th to 9th. They're going to be frustrated with that one, but at least he learned a little bit of maybe what not to do for tonight's event.
These drivers are definitely taking notes as the night goes on, and we're about to start up heat number 2 here momentarily. Got a couple of other good drivers in this heat. You have Nicholson in this heat, Trent Curtis, Brittle, Mr. Pink. You have some good drivers in this group. You also have Jake Miller, it looks like, in here as well. So some good drivers in this group, Elliot, that's coming up. We're going to see how
Trent
it goes.
Curtis, a part of, I believe, the Dan Boys operation over there with CDRA and the leagues that they run. So and good to see him out here coming out fresh for tonight's dirt race. I believe he's a bit of a dirt ringer as well, which would explain why he's second overall and first in this heat. You got Mike Nogle back there. I'm not entirely sure if he is related to Kyle. We'll have to figure that out, but Mike back here is going to start tonight from 9th in this heat. And yeah, Jake Miller, Fred Cremines, Aiden DuPont, and Eric Kepf, other notables in here. So we'll have to see how these guys sort out this little heat.
Yeah, Mike Nogle is related to the Kyle Nogle that we know of 10K Motorsports. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe that dirt rubs off on Mike and see what he can do in this heat. We saw that last heat. I really felt like in that last heat, Kyle Nogle was actually the strongest driver, just didn't have quite enough time to get to Lawson. But we're going to see here what happens in heat number 2 as we're about to go green flag racing in a half a lap.
Yeah, interested to see how Nicholson does here. He's obviously well-versed on the Roval, but not so much known as a dirt ringer, but he's been putting in a lot of practice. So we'll have to see with the two Dark Horse guys what they do here.
Here comes the green flag once again, this time in heat number 2. Trent Curtis on the inside, and Nicholson going to fight back on the outside. Almost contact. Nicholson's going to cross over. Phenomenal move coming out of turn 2. Looks like he has Brittle right in behind him in the number 10 machine.
A big battle here. We didn't really see this in the first heat, but all three of these guys are on top of each other. Eric kept watching on, saying, hey, if you guys make a mistake, I'll take some extra spots too. Nicholson gets real close to Trent on the entry. They're going to be side by side through 1 and 2 again.
This is some great racing right here. And contact off turns 1 and 2. Eric kept into the bottom wall very hard after contact with Frederick Cremines.
Yeah, unfortunate for Kev, but he kept it going. I believe he'll drop all the way to the rear, but the truck's still moving, so if any of these other guys make a mistake, he's got a shot at it. Meanwhile, Nicholson has cleared Trent Curtis and is starting to drive away. Brittle making up a little bit of ground. There's a big fight between the top 3 here for this number 1 spot.
This is some good battling up here at the front. Possibly a preview for what we see later on. Nicholson leading the field, Curtis right in behind him, and here comes Hunter Brittle in the 3rd spot. Jake Miller has driven himself all the way up to 4th here, Elliot.
I was about to say we didn't mention that whatsoever. I looked at the starting order, then I looked at where he's running, and he's literally driven through half the field. I'm not sure if maybe that issue with Cremines and Eric Kepf kind of helped him pass a couple extra trucks, but he has definitely improved his starting spot, and I'm sure he'd love to try to get up there and get to Brittle and seal away a top 3 here.
He's trying his hardest to get up there. I don't know if he'll have enough time in that number 4 machine, Jake Miller. But those front 3 are still very close together. I wouldn't be surprised to see another battle for the lead before this heat number 2 is over and done with, as we have 3 laps to go in heat number 2 of the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby. Curtis really sent it in 1 and 2 there.
Yeah, he got right on that back bumper trying to get to the outside of Nicholson. Trent's not leaving the outside. Nicholson's not leaving the inside. They're both pretty dedicated to the lines they're running. Brittle's doing the same thing. Jake seems to like the outside. A lot of these guys are running the middle to outside lane. And unfortunately for them, Nicholson's the one that's making it work down on the bottom right now. Trent again to the outside. Barely clear. Tries to sneak a nose out there, but can't do anything yet.
This is some good battling up here at the front between Curtis and Nicholson, and Brittle's right here watching as they're coming to the white flag in heat number 2. Brittle's now on the inside of Curtis, coming to the white flag.
I think Trent made a bit of a mistake there into 3. He went a little straighter than I think he wanted to. He might have another shot at him if he can get the crossover here, go to the bottom, maybe get Nicholson off what he wants to be, but it looks like if he doesn't send it here that Nicholson's got this in the bag. Curtis with a strong run through, but it looks like Nicholson will get it done here.
A good line from Curtis off 3 and 4, but it's not going to be enough as Nathan Nicholson will steal heat number 2. some great moves up there up against the wall. And everybody's coming across the line. And we're on to heat number 3 now, it looks like, Elliot.
Yeah, it looks that way. Nicholson, Trent Curtis, and Hunter Brittle round out your top 3 there with Jake Miller in 4th. And now we set the grid for the next 9 drivers or so. Hunter Madalinas will start on pole here with the Christopher Heller to his outside. So some big heavy hitters in this one.
We got some good drivers in this heat. Chris Heller, you mentioned, Hunter Madalinas, Jordan Gonzalez, Robin Durr up here, Matt Daniels, Ross Brockman, James Shiflett, Nathan Nixon, and Robert Kenny is your heat number 3. Robert Kenny starting at the back here. I know Robert Kenny is a pretty talented race car driver in that 01 machine, so I can see him making some moves here very early.
I don't think he put a lap in for qualifying, so I believe that's why he'd be starting last in this heat. So I believe he's he did not put a lap in, so he is here to ultimately take as many spots as he can and move himself up through the field. May have had an issue during qualifying that prevented him from putting a lap in, but we'll have to see how far that 01 truck goes. It worked for Jake Miller starting about in the back there last time, so maybe it'll work for Robert Kenny this time.
Madalinas, can he get another victory? I first knew him as a road ringer, and then he proved to me he can get it done on the speedways. Can he get it done on the dirt here today at Bristol Dirt?
Tell you what, he's come a long way. I was talking to a bunch of these guys earlier saying that I felt like Heller was maybe one of the guys that has, progressed the most. But Hunter Madalinas has definitely shown that he can be an all-around talent. It's a shame that he wasn't able to seal the deal last season with the championship after dominating the season, at least the regular season. But he's definitely back again this season in full force. But the guy who was outside, again, the guy that I think has progressed the most recently, current points leader, Chris Heller, has definitely put in the work, and we'll see how they go as pace car peels off.
And the green flag is waving here in heat number 3. 8 laps here. Madalinas leads the field. Heller right in behind him. A great start for Madalinas, by the way. Not too far behind him, you have Jordan Gonzalez in the number 3 machine.
Oh, Jordan makes a little bit of contact with Robin Durr there. Again, we're going to see that. It didn't seem to affect either truck too bad. It may have hurt Ross Brockman a little bit there as the rest of the field kind of cycles out, but it looks like each time we get about 2 or 3 guys that pull off and drive away here, so we'll have to see how that works for the actual event, and it looks like everyone's kind of cycled to the top with how the track's worked in so far.
Everyone's cycling up to the track. This track is really getting worked in. That dirt is really getting worked in, packed in, and they're wrecking in the back. Looks like Robert Kenny and Nathan Nixon are around, the 01 and the number 98. Kenny will continue on, but Nixon's still trying to get it straight.
And Nixon hasn't gotten it going yet. He's gone now. Going to try not to spin it as he gets up to speed. And here comes Hunter Madalinas off of turn 4. They're going to be able to see him now, but Nixon should be able to just drive away and be okay here.
Couple of laps left, and Madalinas has been putting a little distance between himself and Heller. Here you see the battle between Gonzalez and Brockman. Brockman trying to steal a spot from the number 3 of Jordan Gonzalez. A good battle here. Ross might send it here into the corner and try and clear him. It looks like he will. A slide job move from the 52. The 3 gets him a little in the bumper, but he keeps it straight.
Going to see a lot of that tonight, I think, too. I mean, if these guys are okay with it, they're going to slide job each other. It just depends if the guy behind is going to run them over, if they're okay with the situation that's happening. You saw Gonzalez was like, it's not worth trying to hit you over it. So let Brockman go. He'll sort it out. He'll go to the bottom as Brockman runs the top. But you can see that bottom lane just doesn't really seem to have the grip. It's really good through center, but yeah, coming off, you can see Brockman just clears him by, a bunch of car lengths there. So we'll have to see how that works out for the rest of these heats.
We're going to see how this track continues to develop throughout the night. Madalinas continues to gap the number 11 of Heller. He just continues to pull away in the number 9 machine. Just looking really strong up there on the high side.
He's really just done a phenomenal job. I mean, a lot of these guys have. I just saw Robin Durr get really loose and save it. So they're definitely not just out there for a Sunday drive. They're having to wheel these things around this place. And a lot of guys are still trying to use that slick portion in the middle now. You can see Matt Daniels is there. Hunter's running just above it. Christopher Heller starting to work in the top as well. So, again, just everyone running a different line and trying to make it work.
White flag is out and coming to the checkered flag. It's Hunter Madalinas in the number 9 machine who looks like he's going to steal heat number 3 here in the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby Heller is going to come across the line in second, and Robin Durr is going to come across the line in the third position. And now we're on to the fourth and final heat of the evening before we start our 100-lap feature here.
Ross Brockman got the better of the battle between him and Gonzalez, as Gonzalez will come home fifth. Matt Daniels, Shiflett, Kenny, and Nixon will round out the final positions in that heat.
On to heat number 4. Some good drivers in this one as well, and a couple of new faces I think I'm seeing. I don't think I've seen the name Roman Gephardt here before. Zach Henry, Tyler McClellan, of course, Lewis Woodall, Shane Neiswanger, Michael Sensi, Bronson Stafford, and Aaron Duclos. A pretty decent field.
Yeah, Roman showed up at Vegas. That's the only start he's made thus far, and I believe Bronson's made either a couple or at least one or two starts in the Cup Series. I believe he actually won the Charlotte race last season when there was a bounty put on, I forget who it was, but someone that wasn't a regular. I think it was any new driver that could come in and win, and Bronson ended up coming in and winning the bounty immediately. So we'll have to see if there's no bounty hunting tonight, but we'll have to see what he can do here tonight as he starts from about the 8th, 7th spot. But yeah, Shane Neiswanger, Lewis Woodall, regulars, Tyler McClellan, and of course Zach Henry. Zach Henry comes in here second in points, so a lot of these 25-11 guys starting the night off really well here on the dirt. No surprise, they came in here running the points from the top of the board, and they're probably going to try to leave here doing the same thing.
Elliot, you were mentioning earlier most improved drivers. The driver that's starting out front here, Zach Henry, is probably my vote for the most improved driver. When I came into commentating this series, he was a mid-pack top 10 driver, and now he's consistently running in the top 5, if not the top 3, Elliot. He's looked really strong so far this season.
Yeah, he's beat me up a few times in the Cup Series, so I think it's taken him a little bit longer to figure out the truck, but he came into the Cup Series and immediately won, I think, a race or two right off the bat. I think one of them was fuel mileage, but regardless, he was driving an incredible race then. So he's definitely improved a ton, and we'll have to see if he can hold him off here as Pace Truck dips off.
Green flag is waving for the fourth and final heat. They're going to be 3 wide for third place going into 1 and 2. Neiswanger all the way on the inside. Zach Henry's trying to clear the number 26 of Gephardt for the lead, and Woodall's in the wall. Looks like Lewis Woodall's in the wall. Now we have a battle for the lead. Gephardt sends it into 3 and 4. He slide jobs Henry. Henry's going to do a crossover move and take the lead back on the inside. A very exciting first lap, Elliot.
Yeah, what a slider from Gephardt. Let's see if he does it on the outside now. He's going to send it real big and try to get the big run off. No, Zach's going to close the door. He gets back to the inside, though, and they're going to do it all over again into 3. McClellan did not get a good enough start, and that had Shane and Lewis all over the place, but it seemed to have worked itself out, and now Tyler's starting to make up ground on these top 2 as they just duke it out for this position. Both of them want it. There's a little bit of contact. Zach has to lift out of it a bit. Gephardt to the outside again.
That was some interesting contact from the 12 there. Did a little tail whip to the 26 going into 1 and 2, and they bound. There goes the 26! McClellan's going to spin him around, and they're all going to line up behind him. Oh my goodness!
Shane.
There goes Neiswanger.
Yep, Shane's going to get hurt the most out of that, unfortunately.
Zach Henry is long gone now. Way out in front of the number 1 of Tyler McClellan. McClellan was able to keep it straight and hang on to the second position, and now we have a battle for the third spot between Stafford and Sensi here.
Yeah, the one thing we're going to have to worry about is I think people were complaining about temps and heat. So I think maybe front end damage like Tyler McClellan, we're going to have to see if that engine expires or something. That may be something that you want to avoid, because if they were complaining about the fact that the truck was overheating prior to any type of damage, you don't want any front end damage done to that thing.
Couple of laps remaining. You see Gephardt trying to get those spots back. He's trying to drive back into the third position right now for Stafford, and he has his eyes set on McClellan as well. Zach Henry way out in front, almost the straightaway ahead of second place. Tyler McClellan 2.5 seconds out in front, and then number 12 machine coming to 2 laps to go here in heat number 4.
I'm not sure if, Gephardt Gephardt makes a little bit of contact with Bronson there. He's going to go up in the outside wall and keep it going, but I'm not sure if maybe that was Gephardt coming off the wall a little bit or what the contact initially was. Gephardt, big send into the corner, clears himself on Bronson. Bronson doesn't even retaliate, just lets him have it at that point, since he's going to clear him as well, and Bronson will lose 2 spots out of that one.
Looked like to me that Stafford felt really crowded right there and just gotten up into the wall. As we're about to finish up this race, Henry comes across the line and he gets heat number 4 in that number 12 machine. Great performance from Zach Henry after the contact with Gephardt. We'll have to see what he does in the main event momentarily.
How about Tyler McClellan driving up to second after starting that one, I believe, back in, well, he's only third. I thought he started fifth. So good run for him as well. Unfortunately, Shane's going to be the big loser going from 5th to 8th, and he'll have to sort that out from about the rear of the field for this feature. And quick note for the feature, you look at the track state, it's fresh. So we no longer have to deal with these guys running the outside. We're going to see multiple lanes right off the bat, and we're going to see how this thing sorts itself out over the next 100 laps. There will be a break at lap 50, just a caution flag that will result in whether people want to pit or not. And from there, we'll try to keep it lean and green all the way to the end. But 100 laps here, fresh track state, and now your field's set based off those 4 exciting little heat races there.
I think this is going to get really, really crazy here, Elliot. You have 35 drivers on Bristol dirt, not just regular Bristol. 35 cars on regular Bristol, that's calamity. 35 cars on Bristol dirt, Elliot. What's going to happen here tonight?
A lot is my expectation.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, you've got, again, 2 of some of your most aggressive guys, I'd say, right up there. Well, probably your top 3 would be that between Ashton Lawson, Nathan Nicholson, and Hunter Madalinas. Don't forget about Kyle Nogle back there, Trent Curtis. They were really fast in their heats. So if I called them splits, I apologize in advance. But we'll have to see how those guys can work their way around a couple of these guys in front of them. And Zach Henry showed a bunch of speed too. Let's see if he can maybe mix it up with these 3 in front of him.
We got some good drivers up here at the front. Some pretty good drivers up in the back of the pack as well, like Shane Niswanger and Aaron Duclos. I think Mike Tellier is back there somewhere. I'm expecting to see these drivers drive from the back and get their way to the front fairly quickly here, Elliot.
Also giving them an extra lap under pacing here. Maybe they can work in that lane. You see a couple of guys trying to spin up the rear tires and just get some heat in them. So we'll have to see if maybe they can start to work in that top lane immediately and if that starts to come to fruition. But as you said, there's a lot of guys back here in this pack, especially, aggressive notables like William Barbagelata, Roman Gephardt, and Jake Miller, all right there in about the 8th, 9th, 10th position. So we'll have to see how quickly those guys can try to make their way up through the field.
This should definitely be an interesting first few laps for sure, as a lot of drivers are going to try to settle out and try to get a feel of these other drivers, but at the same time, it could get crazy really quick and hit the fan. We're going to go around one more time, and the lights are going to turn off the pace car, and we're going to go green flag racing here in the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby at Bristol Dirt for the Great Lakes Truck Series presented by Patti Engineering.
And last season's winner is not here, so this is going to be a new winner at Bristol Dirt here tonight.
This is an interesting race here, Elliot, because if this race really turns sideways and becomes a caution fest, this really opens it up to any one of these drivers possibly getting a first career win or on a different sort of racetrack that they're used to. Pace trucks coming off 3 and 4. We're going to go green flag racing for 100 laps here at Bristol Dirt. Ashton Lawson's going to lead him to the green flag on the inside as the green flag is waving here at Bristol. Nathan Nicholson on his outside. They're going to fight hard going into 1 and 2. Is Nicholson able to take the spot? Almost contact in 1 and 2 on the first lap between the leaders. They're fighting hard for that lead.
Remember, those 2 were the ones that were going to battle for the win at the Roval until a lap car got into Nicholson. I think Nicholson wants a little bit of payback. He's going to steal the first lap from Ashton Lawson. Big jump from Nicholson on the outside to lead lap 1.
And great job from Nicholson, able to lead lap number 1 of the 100-lap feature. And that number 40 machine in that Jack Sprague stylized number 40.
It is an absolute cluster back here behind Chris Heller with Barbagelata. They're still 3 wide. Briar Fritz, Tyler McClellan. McClellan has gone backwards, just trying to utilize the outside, but it doesn't look like that lane is working whatsoever at the beginning here, and he has lost a bunch of spots because of it. Briar Fritz getting really loose off the corner as well. These guys all just trying to get those spots and try to get clean and nice and clear of each other and settle in.
Everyone trying to find their spot in the running order. Some heavy battles going on throughout the pack. Not missing anything up front right now as Nicholson's beginning to pull away from the number 24. Here you see Matthew Durr and the number 2 battling the number 92. Here you see it looks like Gephardt. He's battling on the outside. Gephardt's trying to get up to the front here in that number 26 Ricky Bobby looking machine.
Yeah, Gephardt just had a big send on Hunter Brittle. They door contacted each other, and it kind of sent Brittle up the track behind these guys. He was in front of him. Brockman's getting loose back there behind him. Just a big mess going on as Gephardt now clears Briar Fritz, Tyler McClellan, and Hunter Brittle working together. Those two known as pretty big rivals because they're always next to each other on track, and tonight is no different as they find themselves next to each other on lap 5 going on to lap 6.
Have a battle for second developing here. Hunter Madalinas on the inside of Ashton Lawson. These two are racing pretty hard for that second spot. Here comes Madalinas, the number 9 machine. Last year's win total. He led the series in wins last season. Can he get a win on dirt? Hunter Madalinas, we call him the closer. Can he close the job here? Not clear Lawson yet. He's going to have to take another shot at it.
Yeah, he did that winning on a bunch of different tracks too. I believe he did it on pretty much every type of track you could, from the road courses to the intermediates to the short tracks. So be interesting to see if he can get this one done on dirt as well.
Well, these two are battling it out. Zach Henry and Kyle Nogle are catching up to these two. We might have a big battle for the second spot momentarily as Nicholson continues to pull away in that number 40 machine. Number 9 of Madalena is going to fall in behind Lawson for now. He sees Henry coming up in his rear view mirror. He does not want to lose that position. If Madalenas is going to make this pass on Ashton, he's going to have to really I feel like he's going to have to send it in the corner and just slide up in front of him. And the leader's approaching lap cars here, Elliot. I'm watching it.
Yeah, meanwhile, coming back to those guys running towards the back, Shane Neiswanger, Robert Kenny, remember 2 guys that we mentioned had slight issues in their qualifying and heat races. They've both moved up. They're 23rd and 24th respectively after starting 31st and 32nd. So guys on the charge are trying to move up through the field and at least, limit themselves from potentially going a lap down and having to race through it.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Madalena's got into a lap car, and the lap car spun around to the inside. It looks like Brett Kincott is stuck on the inside of the front straightaway in the number 6 machine. He's now getting it turned around here on the front straightaway in that Jegs Ford.
Yeah, he's moving now as more cars go by.
I would like to also note that there is no cautions unless it's a massive accident, I'm thinking, here tonight, and there is competition cautions at lap 35 and 70 here for the 100 lap feature. Kincott's coming up the road, by the way.
Nathan Nicholson just moving along very, very swiftly here. I mean, driving away from Ashton Lawson, Hunter Madalinas, I know that battle's kind of worked itself back out. Lap trucks seem to have cycled out a little bit. Meanwhile, we do have 30 trucks on the lead lap. The drivers that are a lap down are currently Rod Fossenbaugh in 31st, Aaron Duclos, Mike Nogle. Brent Kincott is 2 laps down, coming back onto the track. There's another driver spinning there, and
Looks
Matt
like
Daniels is 6 laps down. That was Robert Kinney.
Robert Kenny in the 0-1, spun it around. Here you see Nicholson. Nicholson's been working this traffic fairly well in that number 40 machine. Lawson's caught up a little bit because of the lap traffic, but not that much in the number 24 machine as they're approaching another group of lap cars here in the next few laps. There you see him on your screen.
Yeah, we talked about Robert Kenny making up a bunch of those spots. Unfortunately, it's all going to be for naught as he goes spinning. See Trent Curtis making a move on Barbagelata there.
A lot of good moves through the pack here. Trent Curtis showed a lot of speed in his heat race. He's beginning to come up through the field in that number 51.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of these guys that just kind of waited and wanted to see exactly what was going to happen as Matt Daniels has bowed out of this event. He is disconnected. But Trent Curtis is one of those guys that started the race in 6th, dropped back to about 8th, 9th, and now that it's settled out, looks like he's going to start to move up through the field here. Has already cleared Barb and is starting to drive away and set his sights on the top 5 or so.
There you see Hunter Madalinas, the number 9 machine, as he trails the number 24 of Ashton Lawson. They're approaching these lap cars. Nicholson's having trouble getting past the number 28 of, looks like to be James Shiflett. And now Ashton Lawson is all over the bumper of Nathan Nicholson. We have a battle for the lead here. Lawson's going to send it in 3 and 4. He's going to use the 28 as a pick on the outside. Where does Shiflett go off the corner? Almost contact with Lawson. Lawson almost spins it off the corner. He's going to keep it straight. Jumps back in front of Madalinas. What a move. And Nicholson's now going to send it to the inside of Shiflett.
Yeah, meanwhile, we still got guys getting used up. Heller sent it on Trent Curtis, so there's a lot of different battles going on as now Nicholson is basically 4 wide. They are 4 wide. They're somehow not fully wrecking.
Wow!
There it is.
And they're wrecking on the front straightaway. But Lawson made contact with a lot of cars there in 3 and 4. Just couldn't quite get the cars straight and kept on getting into driver's doors. And it worked out for him there, Elliot. It really worked out for Lawson. He was able to get past them. He might have lost the spot, but he was able to get past them cleanly and not spin it around.
Yeah, and more importantly, he didn't damage the front of the truck. It was all side contact, it looks like. So everyone that was involved in that seems to have cleanly gotten away, either off on pit road or something else. And the battles just continue back in the pack back here. Briar Fritz has actually been making moves. He's now right up behind the battle between Barbage Lotto, Trent Curtis, and Christopher Heller, who's right on the back of Zach Henry. I mean, these guys back here about 4th and 5th are just on top of each other. This battle it is for 4th with Kyle Nogle at least. This has been raging for a while now.
Nogle has a lot of speed in that number 15. Kyle Nogle, driver the number 15. Dirt track ringer. Can he get the job done? He gets a great run on the outside, and he's trying to get away from Heller, Henry, and company at this point and get up to the top 3. This group of drivers is around 3 seconds behind race leader Nathan Nicholson as we speak.
Yeah, that's the big gap. Again, it's like a 3-truck breakaway, and then everyone else here is just kind of suffering. Briar way on the inside, the only one trying to do it. He's able to clear 2 trucks, but can't actually get past them as they go back around him, and he's going to go right to the bottom again, and we've got trucks spinning down on the inside. Looks like Aiden DuPont, maybe James Shiflett. They get it sorted and going.
James Shiflett and Aiden DuPont there spun around. Just to remind you guys once again, there is 2 competition cautions. There is no cautions for spins unless it's a massive pileup. Nicholson leads the field, and Madalinas is trying to take it away on the inside. He's going to send it into 1 and 2. Nicholson gets into the wall. Can Madalinas take the lead? He will. Is he able to clear him? Contact! There goes Madalinas. Madalinas spinning on the inside. Wow! And there goes Nixon. Puts Lawson in the wall. Madalinas is stopped on the front straightaway, the closer.
And Hunter Brittle actually hit Hunter Madalinas. While all that was going on, he may have some front-end damage.
And Nicholson's going to spin Shiflett. He got tired of Shiflett. Him and Shiflett made contact once again, and he spins him around on the front straightaway. And now this race is getting very crazy here, Elliot. I would have to be thinking of a caution personally.
Getting harder and harder to keep up with. I believe that was a 98 that just spun off of Nathan Nicholson, and these guys are just kind of all over each other now. The slow traffic is definitely getting in the way and making this a little bit harder. We've got other guys spinning. It's the 01. Ashton Lawson's around.
Lawson spins it. Heavy contact.
Henry.
And there's the caution.
Roman Geffert, Tyler McClellan.
The caution now comes out. Multiple drivers involved in that incident. Once again, I'm going to say it again just to make it clear. Massive pileup will cause the caution. We had a pretty massive pileup coming off turn 2 there, Elliot, starting with Ashton Lawson and Robert Kenny, it looked like.
How about the fact that last week, the guy that's leading right now is the one that gets taken out by lap cars, and this week, everybody that has been challenging him all night has now been completely obliterated by lap cars. Here's the deal with Ashton Lawson, who is actually your leader at that point. Robert Kenny spun in front of him, maybe off Lewis Woodall or something, and unfortunately, that's got to be nearly an ender for Ashton Lawson. You can see the contact between Geffart and Tyler McClellan, no idea if that's going to be bad or not for them. Again, any front end damage is typically not very good with these trucks because they're already running so hot, such high RPMs. So we'll have to see how much damage these guys can get repaired and how that's going to affect them for the rest of the race.
Much needed caution flag there. Things are getting very crazy in the field. A lot of 1-car, 2-car incidents which aren't eligible to bring out a caution. It was really building up to this incident. We saw right here, Elliot, a lot of good race cars taken out in this incident. You see you're on board of Zachary Henry as he took a little bit of a ride coming out of turn 2.
Zach also has a lot of front end damage. That's the problem, is I think a lot of these guys that ended up under contact ended up with a lot of contact. It wasn't just a minimal amount. So you can already see guys starting to disconnect. Roman Geffert has left the building. A lot of these guys getting black flags under this situation too. I don't think they realize that it's not a single pit road. So a lot of these guys just enter pit road straight up, and you can't do that here. It's still 2 stalls or 2 different pit roads. And yeah, you can see it looks like Lewis just kind of went a little bit slower. Robert Kenny didn't really know where to go and had to lift to get out of it, and it just kind of sent him around. Ashton Lawson just nowhere to go, unfortunately, and was also involved in that.
Yeah, a lot of very destroyed race trucks out there here at Bristol Dirt. And now we're going to have to continue from this point. And the field's kind of been shuffled up here a little bit. It looks like Robin Durr and Matthew Durr and Jordan Gonzalez have all stayed out to take the lead of the field, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad play. There's also a lot of guys that, even though they received black flags and had them cleared, that's still going to send them to the back of the field. So there's not anything that they can really fix there. So again, you know, Shane Neiswanger started this race 32nd after his issues in his heat. He stayed out here. If we are going to get that yellow on 35, which I'm not sure that we're going to get it now with that happening on 28, there's no reason to not stay out here and just kind of suffer through the next couple laps and then, you know, reset and get after it until the next one. So we'll have to see if they still intend to throw those yellows at those designated points or if maybe those laps have now changed.
You are correct, Elliot. We just got an update to the booth from Michael Levine, the race director, that this will be the competition caution here today. This will be the competition caution for lap 35. We still have the competition caution going on at lap 70.
And they're gridding here, and they're going to go green right here. Not sure if everybody was ready for that, but they are gone. And it is Robin Durr with Ross Brockman leading them down.
Robin Durr and Ross Brockman going to battle it out going into 1 and 2. William Barbagelata, a.k.a. Mr. Excitement, right back there. And look at Shane Neiswanger. He spun out and had a massive accident in his heat. Now he's back up here at the front in that number 49 machine. Who will take the lead and lead this lap? Robin Durr is trying to clear Brockman, and Brockman's going to get a great run off the corner and lead lap number 34. Ross gets a little into the wall, used it up a little bit. Now here comes Barbagelata. William Barbagelata, a.k.a. Mr. Excitement, takes the lead in the number 27, and he has the lead. And here comes Neiswanger on the outside of Brockman. Some heavy battling going on for the second spot. Here comes Tellier in the number 84. He joins the party.
An absolute madhouse right now.
That's what I'm seeing here, Elliot. This is a very insane race here in the Coliseum. A lot of battling and fighting going on in the last great Coliseum as Barbagelata leads the field. Here comes Neiswanger. Neiswanger wants the race lead in that number 49 Budweiser Chevrolet.
I'll be honest, I'm just soaking it in. Durr makes a little bit of contact with Brockman. Here comes Tellier back on the inside. Nicholson has announced his presence. He's right behind Lewis Woodall as these guys all start to shuffle in. You can see the faster guys making their way up here with Bronson Stafford and Kyle Nogle. All these guys starting to, I'm not sure if maybe it's the tires on Robin Durr, if he just didn't have the pace to begin with, but he is starting to fall back here as, wow, Briar Fritz and Jake Miller make contact, and Robin Durr's around off the front end of Hunter Madalinas there.
And Robin Durr spins it out coming out of 1 and 2, and he's able to get it back going on the back straightaway. There you see it. The number 23 machine was in the lead when we went green flag racing, and now he has spun it around. He'll try to continue on in the number 23 machine as the battling continues around the 5th position. There's contact. There goes Eric Kepf. Mr. Pink, the number 63 machine, spins it around. Looks like Madalinas as well in the number 9. Another caution has came out. Caution number 2 of the event. And Eric Kep's going to, almost contact with Nixon. That was very dangerous. These drivers are going to gather it all back up and get back together once again for some more craziness here at the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway on the dirt. Going to get a replay on this incident here. Definitely some craziness over the last 15 to 20 laps here at Bristol. And here's the incident here. Eric Kep gets into Woodall, backs off, and then some contact, which it looks like to be the 83 of Stafford. And then it comes Madalinas in the number 9. Look, Brittle barely made it past the number 10. And whoa, Madalinas. And that's just the inexperience on the dirt. I saw Madalinas trying to turn it around there. Gave himself pretty massive nose damage just trying to turn it around there, it looked like, Elliot.
Yeah, I think that's just another. It's the same situation we had before. Unfortunately and ironically, with the same driver of Lewis Woodall, just a little bit too slow through the corner. I'm not sure if maybe he thought that the driver under him was a little bit too close, but yeah, Hunter thought that he was gonna be able to get that thing turned around by just putting the throttle down, and unfortunately, that thing did not kick to the right like he wanted to. And that has cycled Shane Neiswanger, William Barbagello, Mike Tellier up to the front. How about Shane Neiswanger from back in the 30s? Got wrecked during his heat, and now he's up here sorting it out, trying to keep this spot as the race leader. And we see Hunter try to turn it around, just couldn't quite get it done. Just do himself a little bit more damage and get a point in the right direction.
You're mentioning Shane Neiswanger. It's really good to see him up here at the front after his incident in his heat race. He started in the very back. Let me see, where did he exactly start today? I think he started around 33rd, 35th today. Started outside the top 30, and he's moved his way all the way up here in the number 49 machine. Has a lot of speed. One of the faster trucks, I think, out here, Elliot.
Yeah, and they're starting to wave guys around the pace car that I'm watching because a lot of these guys have, like, fallen a lap down. So this is a bit of a mess here, but it looks like we've got about 16 guys on the lead lap, so Shane definitely in about the best spot, having stayed out, and is going to try to hold on to this one at least until the next competition caution, which at this point, who knows when that will be. And, you know, if he can maintain this spot on these tires, which we don't think tires really affect you too much, then he should be pretty good.
Strategy, strategy, strategy. And that's what has the number 49 out front, and he's looking to hang on. William Barbagello right in behind him. It looks like they're going to green flag racing this next time by as they begin to double up. 1 to go. Lights are out on the pace car. You have Neiswanger in the lead. He has decided on the inside lane. You have William Barbagello on his high side in the 27. Right behind him in the 3rd spot, you have Mike Tellier on the inside, and on the outside, you have the number 52 of Ross Brockman. But watch out for that 3rd row, Elliot. That's what I'm looking for. You have Nathan Nicholson on the inside, who was leading the race not too long ago, and Kyle Nogle has a lot of speed on these dirt tracks, and I know he's hungry to get a strong finish as the pace truck pulls off once again. We're going to go green flag racing after caution number 2 with 56 laps to go.
I'm forgetting about old Briar Fritz. I'm not sure if maybe he has some damage. I know Jake says that his truck is pretty banged up in the 4, but Briar has had a ton of speed too, and he is a dirt ringer, as I should say. As you can see, Nicholson split both Brockman, and Tellier is going to use that bottom to... Wow, he nearly cleared Barb and got next to Shane, but you can see just how much you can't get a run off the bottom. So unfortunately for Tellier, it didn't work. It looked really good, but it did not work. Nicholson to the outside of him for 3rd now will clear him down the backstretch.
Tellier wasn't quite able to clear them into the corner, and all these drivers sent it into 3 and 4. Look like that whole top 4 hit the wall and just kept on going. Neiswanger leading the field, trying to get away from Barbagello, but Nicholson, he needs to make quick work of Barb and get up to Neiswanger, but Nogle is all over his bumper in that number 15.
I was going to say, I think we're just kind of accustomed to them just driving it out into the wall. It looks like that's pretty much what they're going to do. The old Kyle Larson and Ryan Newman incident that happened years and years ago at Eldora, it just feels like that every lap now, because it looks like the inside lane just does not work. It looks really slick down there, and all of the grip has now come all the way up to the wall, and that's where everyone's at. And Nicholson cannot seem to break Nogle and get away as he tries to track down Barb.
Neiswanger continues to drive away in the number 49 machine, putting on some very strong laps right now. running 3/10 quicker than Barbagelata on back. Niswanger is by far the quickest driver on the racetrack right now in that 49 machine as the battle continues behind them.
Yeah, I like Shane's strategy here. I think it's definitely his best bet to try to either get a win or at least maintain track position and come out of here with a solid finish, which is what he really needs after having some pretty unfortunate races up until the Roval. So you can see Nogle now working his way under Nicholson. So this battle for second is going to heat up between all three of these guys. Nicholson sends a heater down to the bottom. It's not going to clear Barb, and that's going to frustrate him. And that'll probably bring Kyle right back to him going into turn one.
Nicholson needs to make the pass on Barbagelata. I think he has a little more speed than Barbagelata. I think both these drivers actually have a little more speed than Barbagelata, but not by much, not nearly enough to make the pass. As you see the onboard of the number 40 of Nicholson looking back at Nogle as he makes some contact with the wall, saw some sparks come from behind him. Nogle putting that pressure onto the number 15 machine. He has a lot of speed, and we've mentioned it a couple of times. He's really strong on these dirt ovals. And we usually see him as a mid-pack sort of driver, so he's awfully hungry to get a good finish, if not win tonight's event.
I went back through the field. Sensi and Madalinas made a little bit of contact. You'll see Sensi potentially sitting off to the inside. He's going to hit pit road now. But not a ton of action going on back there. They've kind of sorted themselves out, but well, I say that and they're door banging between Heller and I believe that's Trent Curtis, who's just been stuck back here in a big mess too. Trent was obviously fast early on and has not been able to make his way up through here, and we've got a lot of guys that are many laps down up here racing with guys that are on the lead lap or just one lap down too.
What a move from Nicholson, slides up in front of Barbagelata. You saw it on your screen. Now they're 3 wide. Nogle, he's going to try to slide up in front of Nicholson. Can he complete the pass? He does. He's in the wall though, and there goes Nicholson. There goes Nicholson. He's going to have to stop right before pit road. He's going to have to pull it in. Oh, man, you hate to see it. Nathan Nicholson, possibly the strongest truck of the night.
All three of our top runners have now been cleaned out, whether it's by a lap car or someone else. And I'm not sure that Nicholson's going to be able to come back from this one. We'll have to see. He's not going to go a lap down, so he's got that to hold his head on. And he's only going to fall back as far as about 15th or 16th because that's about who's on the lead lap. So when the yellow comes out, he'll at least be able to reset and only have to pass about 10 guys. But Shane Niswanger is actually right behind him right now. Shane has a 4-second gap on Nogle at this point and 6 seconds back to Brockman in third. So I'm not sure what happened to Barb there, but he's now dropped all the way back to 5th, trying to battle Tellier for that 4th spot, and they have just completely lost touch with Shane Niswanger.
Niswanger has been putting on a show in the number 49 machine, just putting down steamers of laps almost every single lap, consistently quicker than the whole field by a couple of tenths almost every time we go around. Doing a great job in the number 49. Is some heavy battling back here. Looks like to be the number 51 of Trent Curtis, the number 11 of Christopher Heller, and the number 10 of Hunter Brittle battling it out back here.
I will say don't look now though, because Kyle Nogle is literally 2 tenths quicker than Shane Niswanger a lap, so Kyle might be able to reel him back down. Gained 7 tenths there now that Shane's entering some lap traffic. Just 3 seconds is the gap when it was over 4 seconds just a few laps ago.
This lap traffic can really change up the whole game. And some heavy battling here around mid-pack. Here you see Cremines in here, Lewis Woodall, Jake Miller in here. A lot of these drivers also aren't battling for position, Ellie. You have to keep that in mind. A lot of these drivers are 1 to 2 laps down.
It's very confusing back here. We don't know who's on what lap. We know Heller is multiple laps down back there. I believe Trent Curtis is still on the lead lap, but yeah, it's very confusing to know who exactly is where, but they are all on top of each other and all going for it for sure.
You see the number 84 of Mike Tellier as he's trying to clear Barbagelata, and the number 27 has a little more speed than Barb right now, but cannot complete the pass. Ross Brockman has driven past Barbagelata a few laps ago and is in the 3rd spot. A good night from 10K. Oh, Briar Fritz! Looks like Briar Fritz has hit the water coolers. And there goes Lewis Woodall spinning on the back straightaway as well. And the caution has came out for the 3rd time this evening. lot of discussion on the radio right now between Briar Fritz and amongst some other drivers on the incident. Lewis Woodall was spun out on the back straightaway, and Fritz was in the inside wall, caught the accident midway. We're going to try to get you a replay on the incident here as we're on lap number 63 of 100 of the main event of the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby here.
Yeah, we haven't had much of a chance to talk about Briar, but he's been pretty fast today. It looks like right there maybe there was an issue and he just wasn't up to speed, and then him and Bronson get together really bad. Wow, Bronson comes off the wall and they just can't get off of each other. And Fritz is into the inside, and the entire field goes spinning with Jake Miller, Lewis Woodall, Christopher Heller, looks like Hunter Brittle, Robin Durr collects. Yep, that was a caution-worthy accident. Shane Neiswanger right there at the end, just trying to make sure he doesn't damage his race-leading truck. And unfortunately for Briar Fritz, who was running up in the top 10 at that point, he is all but going to fall back to about 20th now.
Here you see back here Lewis Woodall and Christopher Heller. Woodall was trying to avoid the incident, just got right into Heller, and Brittle had nowhere to go as well. Oh, very hard hit from Robin Durr and Aiden DuPont. Very hard hits from those drivers. I would like to take another look at the incident, maybe look at Bronson Stafford's onboard. Like Stafford really sent it in the corner and just kind of got hooked to him, and just they blew it flying up into the wall. And I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if Stafford got hooked to him or if he was turning left, didn't know he was there or something. But Fritz went straight into the inside wall with very heavy contact to the nose. And you were mentioning it, Elliot. Fritz was having a phenomenal night in the number 31 machine, so you hate to see it.
Yeah, a lot of these guys that are having really good nights have had their nights turned upside down now. I mean, a good portion of these guys that were running top 5 for most of the start of the race are now complete. I mean, they're not even on our list of people to talk about. So, yeah, you can see Bronson's trying to get off of them. They just look locked together. He turns left right there after he's 100% off of him, but he had that thing turned back right. He was not trying to deliberately turn Briar down into that inside wall, and unfortunately, both trucks just kind of went straight towards that point, and Briar couldn't really get the truck to react.
Green flag here in a few laps here on lap number 66 right now of 100, and I think this most likely will end up using up the competition caution here, Elliot. The competition caution is on lap 70.
Yeah, they're already about coming around. This will be lap 67. We still have about 15, 16 drivers on the lead lap, and we'll actually push Sensi, I believe, around for another lap. A few guys taking the wave around. Hunter Madalinas as well, who is 2 laps down. I believe that'll put Sensi 1 and Madalinas 2, or potentially Sensi on the lead lap and Madalinas just 1 down. And we'll reset with about, yeah, I think we have... I'm showing 15 on the lead lap, but I'll wait for scoring to update after that. Shane Neiswanger is your leader, Ross Brockman second, William Barbagelata third, Frederick Kamines and Matthew Durr round out your top 5. Pace car will pull off, and Kyle will take you through it.
Here they come off 3 and 4, and the green flag is waving here. Just over 30 laps to go in contact with Barbagelata and Neiswanger right there on the front straightaway. Neiswanger able to hold on to the truck and hold on to the race lead. Barbagelata there in the second spot. Ross Brockman in third. Here's Frederick Kamines up here battling with Matthew Durr for the 4th spot.
I guess maybe Shane nearly missed a shift, but we know Barb's going to be aggressive. And don't look now, but Nathan Nicholson's already at the rear of this pack trying to make his way up here as well. So we got to see if Barb has any of that pace. He didn't seem to have all of it throughout the whole run last time, but he was very fast on the short run. But Shane already starting to drive away. And I'm not sure what happened to Kyle Nogle. I believe maybe a pit stop mishap, but he's back in about 9th, 10th position, 4 seconds off Shane. But he was closing last time. He gets another yellow. He might be able to sort himself back up here.
Yeah, I'm hearing now that the competition caution sounds like it's actually going to be moved to lap 73. So a couple more laps until we get that competition caution, as Brockman did a massive slide job on Barbagelata coming out of 1 and 2, and Brockman takes over the 2nd spot for Barbagelata. Barbagelata wasn't too happy about that. Look, they gave him a little bump in the middle of 3 and 4, but they're going to continue on straight as they're battling very hard behind him. Here you see Nicholson's onboard as he's trying to approach Matthew Durr in the number 2 machine.
Yeah, they were all bouncing off each other, but Barb and Brockman are still right on top of each other. that somebody wants this spot, and it's whoever has the most oomph to get around them. So Barb's trying to work the inside, Brockman on the outside. Barb's making it work about as best as we've seen anyone do on the bottom, but it's just letting Shane Nicelonger drive away, and that just means Shane's going to be upset about this caution that's about to come out. Barb through the slider, cleared himself off Brockman, Kermeans to the back of Brockman, and they're all bouncing off each other again going into 3.
Very heavy contact there. Brockman and Kermeans are now battling it out for the 3rd spot. They're approaching this competition caution momentarily. Battle is now on for 3rd. Kermeans on the inside of the number 52 of Ross Brockman. Hunter Brittle right there in the 5th spot. Right in behind him, coming to the competition caution right here at the line. And Kermeans get in front of Brockman. Contact! Brittle gets into Brockman. They're still getting into it. Trent Curtis now makes contact. On the inside, they're 4 wide. Trent Curtis.
Trent's gonna get turned.
Trent Curtis gets turned by Matthew Durr into the inside wall. And there's the competition caution.
They were acting like that was the white flag, and poor Trent Curtis got the worst end of it. I was about to mention how he had driven all the way back up to about the top 5, top 6, and unfortunately just couldn't get through that. He's actually going to pull it off onto pit road. I didn't think the damage was that bad, but maybe that contact right there with another car may have actually hurt him worse off.
Looked like Fosnaugh came sliding in off of the corner and made some pretty decent contact with him there. And at that point, I feel like the frustration just has to set in at that point. I'm going to try to get you a replay on the instant here. Here you see it, 4 wide coming off the corner, and Matthew Durr just hooked to the inside of the number 51 of Trent Curtis, and Curtis just goes crashing, and you're going to see Fosnaugh come sliding in here momentarily in that number 16 machine. Trent Curtis trying to get back going, and here comes Fosnaugh sliding in, very heavy contact.
I don't think Fosnaugh expected him to back that far up the track, so Trent is now out of the race, and that will put maybe 14 drivers on the lead lap. I believe Jake Miller will get the wave around here, so that's 15 drivers on the lead lap. Briar Fritz will be 15th, although it looks like he's going to go a lap down under pit stops here.
Pit stops, as we're going to go green flag racing once again here momentarily after caution number 4 here. Just over 20 laps to go here in the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby for the Great Lakes Truck Series presented by Patti Engineering. And it's been a pretty good one, Elliot. Been a very crazy race to say the least. Very entertaining for us up here, but those drivers down on the track, how do you think they're feeling about this event?
Well, I think the fact that out of the top 14, there's only 4 guys that started in the top 10, only 3 that started in the top 5. I think if you started up towards the front, you haven't had a good night, and if you started at the back, you just kind of survived the mayhem and have ended up where you are. And for someone like Shane Nicelonger, remember, got wrecked in his heat, to be sitting here potentially have a win just right in front of him. I think, honestly, his only competition is probably the 15 of Kyle Nogle, who's mired back in about the 8th position. We're going to have to see how well he works traffic, and if he can get up through these guys, he's going to get his best reset he's gotten all day. So between, Shane and Kyle, I think those are your 2 big picks. Maybe Bronson Stafford, Nathan Nicholson's still back there, but I haven't seen any more speed than what I've seen out of the 15 or the 49 so far.
Another driver really to watch out for. He's in that 2nd spot, William Barbagelata. I wouldn't say he necessarily has that winning pace, but you're mentioning it, Elliot. He was kind of making that inside work a little bit, and we know how aggressive William Barbagelata, a.k.a. Mr. Excitement, could get in that number 27 machine. I wouldn't count him out of this one.
Yeah, we're going to get about a 20-lap run of it here, so we'll stack them up for ideally the last time, but man, you don't know what we're about to see. We may see some more 4 and 5 wide action that results in a massive accident. So we are far from having this one done. There's 20 laps left. No telling how many of them will be under yellow.
And the pace truck is going to pull off once again after caution number 4. And the green flag is out for Shane Nicelonger, where there's 21 laps to go in the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby. And I don't know if the inside was a good choice there. Barbagelata is going to try to take the lead on the outside in the number 27. Almost contact off the corner. They're going to keep it straight. Barbagelata trying to clear him off of the corner. Here comes Frederick Kermeans in the 50. Niswanger sends it in the corner. He's going to try to pull a slide job. Contact with the 27.
Watching Kyle Nogle back there, he's made up the most ground so far. He's up around the 5th spot. Shane's cleared Barb and has, clean track to move on now, but Kyle Nogle back there working on Bronson Stafford and Ross Brockman with Nicholson right there. That's going to be a big battle to watch to see if Kyle can make up ground. Him and Nicholson get together. Kyle's on the outside wall. He's spun, and the 2 fastest trucks that Shane, I think, had to deal with are both killed. And the whole field's wrecking again.
The caution is out. Eric Kepf is around. You have Sensi around. Tellier, Fosnow, Duclos, Miller. A lot of good drivers around. Kyle Nogle had a really strong night and was driving his way up to the front. Briar Fritz involved as well. A lot of
engines out of the 63 and 31.
Oh, man. Wow. Biggest accident of the night, I'd say, right here, Elliot.
Yeah, that was not ideal. There seems to be an issue with Sensi and Barbagelata here. I'm not sure what this is about, but Sensi came up on track into Barb. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. And you can see it there. I mean, Trent just kind of overshot the corner, got up into Nicholson, and then, I mean, from there, there's not a lot of places these guys can go. The brakes don't work. We're on dirt. They're sliding. And it's just a madhouse, and guys just continue to pile in after it's over. You see Duclos, I think that's Fossenbaugh, and just everyone trying to get out of it. I think Kyle actually got about the least damage out of that, but certainly going to hurt his track position here. He was driving up through there.
I'll tell you what here, Elliot, though. This race here I kind of wish was in person because we would have the most exciting post-race yet. I've commentated a lot of these Great Lakes races, but I have never heard so much chatter and so much arguing, I feel like, on the radio here tonight here at Bristol Dirt. And it makes sense. A very difficult racetrack, especially to race with stock cars, and a lot of contact and a lot of incidents so far tonight.
Yeah, I tend to turn a lot of the audio off so I can go listen to Matthew Rodriguez's Radioactive that he has started doing. I'm not sure that we're going to get him every week, but it was fun to listen to the last time that we got one for Gateway, so hoping that maybe we get one for tonight, but I'm sure that would be about 20 hours of, sitting there and cutting stuff up, because I'm sure there's a lot going on with how exciting this one has been tonight. But right now, it looks like we've got Shane Niswanger probably not saying a whole lot on the radio with where he's at, and Barbagelata and Fred Cremines. I'm not really sure how Frederick got up here, but he's just kind of minded his own business all night, and he's sitting right here. Ross Brockman and Bronson Stafford, your top 5. So a very interesting top 5, but it's where we are right now.
Very interesting top 5, to say the least. Just over 10 laps remaining here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Coming to 14 laps to go at the line this time by the 100-lap feature here at Bristol Motor Speedway on the dirt for the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby. It's been an insane race so far. A lot of the second half of the race has been led by Shane Niswanger, who pulled a strategy call to get himself up into the race lead after wrecking out in his heat. Now finds himself in the lead and hasn't really looked back since.
I don't think he's pitted at all, and I don't think there's a reason to at this point. If it's working, it's working. There's no sense in doing it. He's picking the outside, though. He learned from his mistake before, and he's not going to give Barb another chance. So as we come down the backstretch, they'll take the green flag this time around, and it looks like he knows what he wants now, and he won't be able to give Barb a shot at it going into turn 1.
Right before we go green, I do see the chat. Matthew Durr update. Matthew Durr sitting in that 7th spot on the inside as we're about to go green flag racing. Who can get up there and challenge Shane Niswanger as the pace truck pulls down, possibly for the last time? Green flag is out with just over 10 laps remaining here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Niswanger on the outside. Barbagelata able to fall in behind him, and now the battle's on for second. Cremines is trying to get past Barbagelata on the inside as they continue to battle behind them.
I don't think anybody has had the pace that Shane has unless someone like Nicholson can get up there, but they're just mired back here. Nicholson's got a lot of work to do to get up there, and Barb's just got to figure something out. He wasn't able to do much last time. He's definitely got a little bit more figured out here. He can get the drive in, but he can't get the run off. They are packed up 3-4 wide back there for about the 3rd, 4th, 5th spots. Brittle coming around the outside. He'll clear a couple of them. He's up to 4th.
Yeah, power move from the number 10 of Brittle, able to make a lot of passes on the outside and move up to the 4th spot. A couple of drivers fell back after some contact, and they're still racing very hard in behind these drivers. Here comes Nogle in the number 15. He's trying to get back up here once again. He's back up into the top 10 in the number 15 machine. He's up in the wall right behind Nicholson, trying to get to long. These are the 3 fastest guys of the night, probably right here.
All up front, it's just Shane Nicelonger. Barb can't really do anything. They're virtually mirroring lap times, but that's not going to be enough. Barb's going to have to get there if he's going to actually do anything. And Cremines and Brittle just don't seem to have the pace. They've both been in multiple accidents tonight. They probably have much less cleaner trucks. Shane just looks like he's got, virtually the cleanest truck, but also, the best speed and the best talent right now, being able to run that line perfectly. He's arguably 2 or 3 tenths quicker than Barb every lap.
Nicelonger has just been able to ride that high line better than anybody else, keeping that right side of the machine just not even inches away from that wall at times. And the number 49 just showing a lot of speed, driving from the back to the front with a couple of laps remaining. These drivers are battling awfully hard back here. They're 4 wide once again. Matthew Durr once again in a 4 wide situation, but they're able to get through it cleanly this time, and they continue to race. Nicholson's up in the wall. Nogle's going to slide job him. The crossover move from the number 40 of Nicholson to the inside.
Poor Matt Durr has just been in the complete middle of all of this. Meanwhile, Ashton Lawson back on the lead lap up inside the top 10. Really good rebound for him after what tonight's been. You've got Kyle Nogle and Nathan Nicholson door banging each other. They've both been really fast tonight, both probably just frustrated with the fact that neither of them are going to win this race. Coming towards 5 laps to go, 6 to go across the line this time, 5 to go next time by. And looks like Nogle's able to pick a couple of these guys off. He might split. No, I thought he was going to split Bronson Stafford and Ross Brockman there. He might do it in this corner, though.
He's thinking about it, Elliot. He just can't quite get his nose in there. Almost contact right there with Stafford in the number 83. They're going to continue on for now. Nogle trying to make this move on the 83 of Stafford. He's going to send it in the corner, make heavy contact with Brockman. Heavy contact with his teammate. Those two are teammates.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he knew that Brockman was there or not. He comes down, almost clips Nathan Nicholson a little bit. They're still making contact. Him and Stafford just hit. Nicholson's potentially going to get stunned. They save it. The 24 and the 2 in the inside wall. They're wrecking again.
Matthew Durr. The green stays out. Only 2 vehicles involved in the incident on the inside lane of the track. The race will continue on. No caution. Matthew Durr is up in smoke. You hate to see it in the number 2 machine. He will go a lap down with that engine up in smoke. 3 laps remaining for Shane Nicelonger to get the victory here at Bristol.
I'm in awe. I can't believe what we just saw. Barb can't do anything because he's being attacked by Cremines. This is Shane's race to lose. He's got 2 laps to do it. All he's got to do is just bring the thing home, and that's it. I mean, it's virtually over at this point. Cremines and Barb are all over each other. They're probably going to wreck and give Brittle a second place finish and give Dark Horse a 1-2.
Yeah, Cremines pulled a massive slide job on Barbagelata. Barbagelata almost turned him off the corner. As they're coming off the corner once again for the white flag, the battle for second. You're not missing anything up front. Nicelonger almost 4 seconds up front. Barbagelata pulls the slide job. Heavy contact with Cremines. They're still going at it. They're going to spin off the corner. There goes Barbagelata. Here comes Hunter.
Brittle.
Here comes Brittle. Can Brittle make
the send it? And they make contact.
He sends it.
Unbelievable. Dark Horse just got a 1-2 finish.
Oh my goodness, what a finish. Dark Horse gets it done with the 1-2 finish. Oh my goodness.
They almost got a 1-2-3 because Barb and Nicholson came across the line side by side. Nicholson ends up 4th. Barb barely etches out for 3rd. That was almost a 1-2-3 for Dark Horse in their first ever GLTS win.
Yeah, Barbagelata beat Nathan Nicholson across the line by only 0.02 of a second. A very close finish for a dirt race there for third. Barbagelata able to snag that third place on the podium and ruin the dark horse potential 1, 2, 3. But a great performance from Shane Neiswanger, who started at the back of the pack, started 32nd tonight. Started in the 32nd. Oh, heavy hit from his teammate there. But started from 32nd place after wrecking in his heat race, drove to the front because of strategy and never looked back after he took the lead and is able to snag a victory here at Bristol Dirt. What a race from Shane Neiswanger, and they're still making contact down there. Once again, the inexperience on dirt showing up a little bit right here, Elliot.
Yeah, that was definitely something else, and doing burnouts isn't exactly the easiest thing. Shane's just going to go around the track now, but wow. Well, we knew it would get exciting, and we didn't get an exciting finish for the win, but man, did we get an exciting finish for every other spot, as those guys were literally beating and banging off each other. And yeah, we ended up with 8 trucks on the lead lap there.
Neiswanger going around, just doing his Alan Kwiecki styled victory lap, gets up into the wall, coming across the line, and spins it around. You know he has to be happy about this. And we're going to try to get you some interviews here in a moment. Going to try to get some interviews with our top 3 finishers on the evening here in the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Under the lights, on the dirt, a phenomenal race, a lot of incidents, definitely very entertaining from our view, Elliot, but those drivers down the track definitely had a interesting event, to say the least.
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear the perspectives that these guys went through. I mean, Bristol was in the mix of it for a lot of it, and especially, third place Barbagelata with exactly what happened there on the last lap. I mean, we know Barb loves to send it, and we got to see it for sure, so it'll be interesting to hear his point of view on what that all was.
I think we're going to actually get our third place finisher in here. William Barbagelata. Kyle Short up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
William, that was a great race and some back and forth action throughout. What was going through your mind those last couple laps when you're battling it out with Cremines for that second spot? What a battle and what a finish, by the way.
Yeah, he was definitely a little quicker than me towards the end there. Got to me, and I was so sick of having people throw slide jobs on me and put me in the fence and basically stop in front of me so I can't get going. And so I was going to race him as hard as I could. I mean, I didn't want us to both get spun like that, but I did not want to let him beat me there. So I don't know. I slid him back. We both got together, and happy to walk away with P3 after all that.
Yeah, definitely a lot of craziness going on in the race, but you and Shane Neiswanger and a couple other drivers ended up finding yourself up in the front after not taking tires. What was maybe going through your mind when you made that strategy call and everybody else came down pit road and y'all decided to stay out?
Well, I don't know. I knew we could make it on fuel, and with those long runs, I stretched it, and I felt pretty comfortable out there. I didn't think tires were a big deal, so kept track position, and yeah, I'm not sure if Fred was on new tires. I don't know who was. It was just such a crazy race throughout. So, but no, I felt comfortable, and I don't know. I guess it worked out pretty good.
Definitely a very exciting race for Mr. Excitement, able to snag that top 3. Next week we head to Nashville Super Speedway. You looking forward to that racetrack at all next week?
Nashville's definitely not one of my favorites, but who knows? I've only raced out there like once or twice, so I guess we'll see. Definitely gonna need to practice for there. So who knows? To be honest, who knows? Especially like tonight. I mean, I feel like there's so many unknowns, and I don't really think I deserved a third. But after all the chaos that happened in that, I don't know. I guess first third of the race that led to this. I mean, anything could happen.
Before we let you go, William, anybody you have to thank for your performance out there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I thank my family and probably the racing gods just for this. Because again, I don't think I deserve this, so I'll take it, I guess.
Well, once again, congratulations on your third place finish, and we hope to speak to you next week, possibly in Victory Lane.
All right, thank you.
All right, good night, William. Now I think we're going to try to bring in our second place finisher. I think we're going to bring in Mr. Hunter Brittle into the booth. Hunter Brittle, Kyle Short up in the booth. You got me?
Yep, I got you, Kyle.
Hunter, congratulations on the second place finish, first of all. But what was maybe going through your mind on that last lap? And you see out in front of you that the two of the number 50 and the number 27 of Barber Gelato and Cremines are just beating and banging out in front of you. Do you think you had a real shot at second at that point?
If they didn't wreck, I know I didn't. I had 7 minutes of engine damage going on that whole last stint. I couldn't believe it. I saw Barb falling off, and I figured that something was going to happen if the two of them were together on the final lap. And lo and behold, my prayers were answered. So I'm just tickled to death that Dark Horse Motorsports can finally get its first win, and a 1-2 at that.
Definitely a good performance from Dark Horse. You mentioned a 1-2-4 performance. Nicholson almost able to get that 1-2-3 for you guys, almost able to get onto that third spot on the podium. Great job from your race team, but that I'm very impressed. I'm kind of baffled. You had 7 minutes of damage, of engine damage. That's very impressive, Hunter.
Yeah, I just that top line got hooked up. We just wore out the rest of this track, and the top line was just going, and I had just enough power to keep it going. Once I got clear of the massive gaggle there we had for, what was that, like fifth on back, I think. Once I was able to clear that, it was just smooth sailing. I was just praying that they didn't get all sorted out to come get me. But what a race, like, oh man, I love this stuff.
What a race indeed, Hunter. You were kind of in the back, in the front. You were kind of all over the place throughout the day. What was maybe going on through your mind early on in the day when you're in those heavy battles in the massive pack?
Well, early I had not a stellar qualifying performance out of myself. I really expected to be farther up in the heats and in just 2-lap qualifying. So it started back more mid-pack than I wanted to, but I was really impressed with just the whole field, how smooth we were able to keep it for that first 15, 20 laps. Like, it was some good hard racing there. I was hooked up with my buddy Tyler McClellan there for a little bit. I was giving him pointers before the green flag, trying to get him up to speed, and it seemed to help him until he got unfortunately taken out. But overall, just a really fun night, really roller coaster of a night. Like you said, I'm still just baffled at how I managed to pull this out. But I love this dirt track stuff. Shane really likes his 410s as sprint cars, but the late models and the street stocks are my bread and butter, and it really showed here tonight with these big old heavy cars trying to slide around this track. So what a great night for both of us.
Definitely showed tonight for sure. Able to get that Dark Horse Motorsports machine into the second place position. But next week we're on to Nashville. Hunter, how do you feel about Nashville Super Speedway?
I'm confident about that one too. That's that one ever since it's got. I know it's one of the more newer tracks, but ever since that one's been added to the service, it's been rather good to me. Unlike this one here. Well, I take that back. This one's been all right to me. I won't talk shit on Bristol Dirt, but I'm excited for next week. Just carrying this momentum going forward. It's awesome. I love this whole league. Everything that we put together. Sam Hoff does a good job, and all the admins. This is awesome to be able to come out here and have a fun time every Tuesday night.
Well, we appreciate those words, Hunter. But anybody you have to thank before we let you go here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, DOG Fabrications, having them on board. Rick Whipple back in North Carolina. I really appreciate him giving me the support for this hobby that I love so much. Got to thank the admins once again for putting on this slobber knocker of a race tonight. This whole league is awesome. I know we give them some crap every now and again when things get a little rough, but they do a really good job. Michael Levine up in race control tonight. Like, holy crap, he had a wild one on his hands. I give him all the credit in the world for being able to hold on to this one. And you guys up in the booth, thank you guys. Last time I had my second place finish, I think it was last season at Chicagoland or Kansas or one of those, and I forgot to thank y'all in the booth, and it was eating me ever since. I was like, I got to get back up to an interview spot so I can thank these guys so they don't hate me. But yeah, just this whole operation that we've got going on is just awesome. I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Well, we appreciate you speaking with us, Hunter, and we hope to speak to you next week after Nashville.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Congrats on your second once again. Have a good night, man.
You as well.
I think we're going to get in our last interview of the night, able to get the victory for Dark Horse Motorsports. I think I lost him here for a moment. Let me find him again. There he is. Shane Neiswanger, Kyle Short up in the booth. You got me?
How about that, boys?
How about that indeed? Shane, you had an interesting night. You started the race in 32nd after wrecking out in your heat race. How did you find yourself up in the front in victory lane here tonight?
That first caution, I don't know what happened, but I came out probably like 6th, I think, and I'm like, okay, we got a shot now, and then we ran it out, worked my way up towards the front, got the lead, and then we decided when there was 40 to go, we were going to pit then and get fuel and not pit again when we had that second competition yellow. And then from there, it was just driving away from everybody.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like the strategy call of the night. It put you up at the front, and you didn't really look back after that. What was maybe going through your mind in those end portions of the race? You were just hoping that, I bet you were just kind of hoping that everybody kept it as clean as they possibly could there at the end.
Yeah, the two main worries I had was I was looking at lap times every once in a while, and Kyle Nogle was fast tonight. I don't know what happened to him, but he seemed to have a lot of long run speed, and then I saw those cars stacked up. I don't know if it was on the front stretch or the back stretch, but I was just hoping that we kept it green and I could just finish these last two laps and we didn't have a green white checkered, because Barb was really good on the restarts all night.
We were talking with Hunter a little bit about Dark Horse Motorsports. You guys have really stepped it up here at the beginning portion of the season, and you showed it once again here tonight, finishing 1st, 2nd, and 4th with Neiswanger, Brittle, and Nicholson. How are you guys developing so fast and becoming one of the powerhouse teams here in the Great Lakes Series?
Yeah, we're practicing a lot. Without Brittle and Nathan, I would not have won this race. I was terrible yesterday in practice. My wheel was broken until Monday. I couldn't get any practice laps in. I hopped in with these guys last night, and I was 8/10 off the pace. And Brittle talked to me last night and talked to me today, coached me through it, and Nathan helped me as well. Those guys are the reason I won this race tonight.
And whatever they told you, it definitely worked. You ended up in a victory lane here at Bristol Dirt after a very crazy race, but end of the race was pretty calm for you, I'd say, for the most part. But next week we're heading to Nashville. Shane, you looking forward to the Super Speedway at all?
Yeah, I feel like I run really well there. I like that track. I got involved in a wreck in the Winter Series, and I don't know if we've run here before in the trucks, but every time I've run there, I feel like I'm pretty fast, and I can keep up with the front guys. So we'll put that practice in again with Brittle and Nathan and the rest of the Dark Horse guys, and see if we can do it again.
Of course, yeah, we hope to speak to you after Nashville, but before we let you go, have anybody you have to thank for your performance and your win out there tonight, Shane?
Well, I just thank you to Hunter and Nathan for those guys. Thank you to everybody who watched tonight. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, Michael for adminning, and yeah, that's about it. Just thanks to everybody who spent their time with us tonight.
Well, I appreciate you speaking with us, Shane, and we hope to speak to you again next week after Nashville Super Speedway, and celebrate that win, man. It's well-deserved.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while. We'll definitely celebrate this one and get back to it for Nashville, and I think I'll be talking to you guys a little more often.
That's what I like to hear, Shane. You have a great night, my man.
You too. Thank you, guys.
And that's it on the interviews for the evening here at the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby here at Bristol Motor Speedway, under the lights, on the dirt, and what a night, Elliot.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here refreshing, waiting for standings to be updated. I'm not sure when that'll happen, but that is definitely going to wreak havoc on a lot of these guys that actually just got updated now. But we forgot to mention the fact that Austin Moore wasn't even here tonight. So there's a lot of storylines that changed coming out of here. But I think Shane Neiswanger just put himself in as one of the favorites to potentially go after this championship, and that puts all 3 dark horse trucks up inside the top 10 in points. So it'll be interesting to see how they can continue to bounce back from that, and look at the storylines leaving here of people that maybe had a bad race versus guys that just came out of here and got out by the skin of their teeth, like someone like Brockman, who just kind of existed for a good bit and actually made up some ground towards the end of it with everyone else having issues. But it'll be interesting going to Nashville to see exactly who comes out on top there and how much more all this stuff shifts as we lead into getting towards the playoffs with Talladega and the Milwaukee Mile still looming.
And next week for the Great Lakes Truck Series, we mentioned it. We'll be heading to Nashville, same place, same time, right here on the Flatout Racing Network, and then also on this Friday, we will be at, looks like, Mid-Ohio for the Great Lakes Premier Series. So definitely tune into that. And I would like to thank all of you for tuning in tonight to the Flatout Racing Network for the Giant Tiger Dirt Derby at Bristol. And I would like to once again congratulate Mr. Shane Neiswanger on his victory here tonight in the 100-lap feature. We hope to see you either on Friday for the Premier Series or next week at the Truck Series at Nashville. But for Flatout Racing Network, good night to everybody, and thank you for tuning in.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.